All right, today we're going to dive right into the mind of someone who is absolutely caught in a spiral. We're going to deconstruct this fascinating, kind of chaotic monologue and trace how one single, bizarre encounter on the street just explodes into a full-blown story of surveillance, judgment, and paranoia.
So this is where it all kicks off. A simple line, right? Almost sounds boring. But trust me, this is not just a story about seeing a bird. This is the exact moment the world tilts on its axis for our narrator. It's the trigger for absolutely everything that's about to happen.
Okay, let's set the scene. You've got three main players here. First, our narrator, who's got this nagging feeling he's being watched. Second, this mysterious brown paper bag from a liquor store. And third, the silent, unblinking star of the whole show, an owl that becomes way, way more than just an animal in his head.
And the conflict hits right away. This isn't just him noticing an owl. He calls it a disgraceful stare. He immediately projects all this guilt and judgment onto the bird, totally convinced it's scolding him for what's in that bag.
You know, to really get what's going on here, we have to look at it through this lens. Paranoia is the engine driving this entire story. It's what takes a totally neutral event, like, seeing an owl, and warps it into this moment of intense personal judgment. So this paranoia just creates this massive gap, this canyon, really, between what an outsider might see and the frantic, super detailed reality that our narrator is building up in his own mind. And this just lays it all out perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you have the simple, damning perception. A guy who says he doesn't drink is walking out of a liquor store with a bag. But on the other side, you have his incredibly specific defensive excuse. His paranoia is screaming for a cover story.
And you can just feel the desperation here. You can almost hear the urgency in his voice, right? He's not just thinking this, he's practically pleading his case to an imaginary jury, trying desperately to control a story he thinks is spinning out of control.
But here's the thing about paranoia. It doesn't just stop with one owl. It starts to multiply. It expands. That feeling of being watched by one thing turns into the certainty of being watched by many things. The surveillance network is growing.
And you can actually map this whole escalation in 4 really clear stages. It starts small, right? A personal judgment, the owl's stare. But then it gets worse. It spreads to his personal life. He imagines the owls calling his significant other to report on him. Then the owl starts following him. It's mobile. And finally, it hits the final level. The owl isn't just a bird anymore. It's an agent of the state.
And this is where the paranoia just crashes right through into his most personal relationships. It's not just in his head anymore. He now pictures this outside force actively trying to turn the people he loves against him, all because of that stupid brown bag.
And there it is, the final stop for all that spiraling fear. The owl becomes the ultimate symbol for a faceless, all-seeing watcher, the government. A creature of nature is literally transformed in his mind into a piece of high-tech surveillance, a drone in disguise. The fear is now total.
So, this brings us to the object at the very heart of all this stress, the brown bag itself. Because as the narrator's paranoia just gets more and more intense, his story about what's actually in the bag starts to completely fall apart. And that's when you see how unstable his whole point of view has become.
I mean, this is the question that haunts the entire monologue. He asks it himself over and over again. The bag is the evidence, right? It's the source of all the judgment. And yet, what's inside is a complete mystery. Maybe even to him.
Just look at this list. It's wild. It starts with a pretty plausible excuse, medicine. Then it shifts to another excuse, candy. Then he kind of admits it could be exactly what the owl thinks it is, booze. But then it just dives into the purely abstract, despair, a new personality. The bag isn't just a bag anymore. It's a container for all the chaos in his mind.
And then we get this moment of just stunning self-awareness. He completely breaks the fourth wall, admits he might be lying, and openly questions his own sanity. He brings us, the listener, right into his confusion. Suddenly, we're a part of the we who doesn't know.
Okay, so in the final act of this whole thing, something really remarkable happens. The focus, it shifts. The narrator turns his gaze away from the owl, away from the bag, and he points it directly at us, at the person listening. The story suddenly isn't just about him anymore. He makes this huge leap. His personal, paranoid spiral becomes this universal commentary on that feeling of being watched, of being judged by some unseen audience. He's suggesting that this feeling, well, it isn't unique to him at all.
And this is the gut punch, the chilling conclusion. He's talking directly to you. He claims the reason you're even hearing this story is because the algorithm, another faceless watching entity, knows you feel the exact same way. The surveillance he's so afraid of is the very thing that delivered his story to you. He makes it personal. He makes it inescapable. It's about you.
So, we're left with this question, aren't we? Is the owl a literal government spy drone, like he concludes in his paranoia, or is it something else? Is it a mirror for our own self-judgment, our own constant fear of how other people see us, watching ourselves watch ourselves? The story never gives you a straight answer, and maybe, just maybe, that's the whole point.